My memory of Ackworth as a young person was basically in my neighborhood. My father owned 3 houses down there, and we went from one to the other type thing. For a man with a 3rd grade education, he did well. He became to start with, he worked at the tapestry mill, he worked at the cotton mill. He started his own plumbing business, worked at all the different places. He was a JP for the county, he was the inspector for the city. If there was a way to make money, he tried to find it. I grew up in a neighborhood that had a lot of kids my age, so we did a lot of things together. We built ramps for our bicycles. At that time, we could ride all over town and not worry about anything. Our parents didn't worry about us. All the merchants on town, they knew us by name. Just a lot of fun for a group of young people. I can remember when cars were parked from the beach all the way up to the grammar school on both sides of the road, on all the roads. It was the place to be in Cobb County. There again, my father trying to make money. Whenever they opened the beach up, they had a little train ride down there that you could ride on. They had all kind of concessions. Where one of the parking lots is now, he leased the property. We had 6 or 7 Shetland ponies. My job every morning during summer was to saddle all of them up down on Park Street where we kept them and get them to the beach. All my friends loved to come help me do that because that means they got to ride the pony from Park Street down to the beach. There was a round circle, one time around 15 cents, 2 for a quarter. If your kid's too small to hold on, my son will walk beside them and hold them on. I must have walked 500,000 miles down there around and around that circle holding little crying kids on ponies. But it turned, it was a moneymaker. When we got to be mid-teenagers, there were several of us that ended up with mopeds and motor scooters, and we could drive all over town without a problem type thing. I had a Cushman Eagle motor scooter. I was really proud of it. It made lots and lots of noise, and Miss Nancy Maxwell's husband told me one time that once I got married and had a kid, don't matter if I moved to California, he was going to find me and wake that kid up every evening with some sort of loud motor like I did when I went by their house on that motor scooter. So, yeah, everybody knew everybody back then, and it was a lot of fun. Some of the things that went on my senior year, I ended up having to sit in the principal's office every day at lunchtime when everybody else would go eat. Quick as I got through eating, I had to go to the principal's office. The last 6 weeks of school is a misunderstanding about a pair of pantaloons being flown on the flagpole, and I'm sure somebody just misunderstood that. Me going to college was a lot of fun, but it was a waste of their money and my time. I should have gone to a trade school. I was not college material. I can take a rope and a winch and move the world. I can't do electronics, all the modern stuff, but I did not need to be in college. However, I did have a good time for 2 years.
Okay.
I left there and came back and started doing plumbing with my father. I thought the world of the man, but I couldn't work for him. So I quit, went to Lockheed. 9 years later, he retired, and I took over the plumbing business.
Okay.
He did plumbing, electrical, and heating. I took over just the plumbing end of it. He had had it for 27 years, and I took it over and did it for 35. So it was one of the older 3 businesses in Ackworth. One of the flower shops, the funeral home, and then us, as long-term businesses in town. I'd bought 13 lots at 1 o'clock in the morning because the man that owned them was going to be served with divorce papers the next day, and he wanted them out of his name. They were all floodplain lots. They were of no real value, but they looked good on a sheet that you show the bank of having a lot of building lots. That was in an area that was low income, and the city qualified to build a park in a low income area. So I I sold the city 1 lot, and I donated them 5 more, and they built a little park on it. And then later, whenever they started building Logan Park, they attached it to that park. So it was there before Logan Park, but it later became a part of it. Folks, back in those days, either I was lucky enough to know all or know a lot of them, but everybody seemed to have a sense of humor, and folks didn't get mad about stuff like they do now.